Today we'll be making an origami bow or a ribbon. So to start with, you'll need a square sheet of paper. If you only have A4 printer paper, have a look at our video on how you can cut that down into a square. So with our square sheet, we're going to fold from the top down to the bottom, making sure that it lines up, and we'll create a crease. And we'll open our model up again, and we'll fold from the left to the right hand side. And make a crease. Open our model up. Then we're going to turn it over. We'll fold from the bottom left up to the top right. And open it up. Then we'll go from the top left down to the bottom right. Create a crease, and then we'll open it up. So now we've got creases on the diagonals as well as horizontal and vertical. Then pick up our model. We're going to pop the bottom up from underneath. Grab hold of each corner. Push them all in to create this shape. We'll choose any one of the sides. Lay it down flat. Press down the edges, create some firm creases. We'll have the crease running from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. I'm just going to fold in about a large thumb of this top right corner. Just folding that corner down, making sure it touches the center line. This creates the center of our bow. We can open it back up. Then we'll open back up all of our model. We're just going to be pressing around that square that's just been created in the center. Just pinching the edges. Just want to make sure that these are all locked in place. This will make some of our future folds easier. Just spending some time going around each of the four sides. Just keep working on that square. We'll have one of the corners facing downwards. That square in the middle should collapse completely. Once it does, press down on those folds. Place the model down. Give it all a solid press. I'm going to take the top left point, just in our first layer. We're bringing that point down to the center line. And creating a fold. And then we'll do the same for the right point, down to the center line. And creating a fold. Then we'll turn our model over. We're doing the same again. Left to the center line. Creating a fold. Right point to the center line. And creating a fold. We can then start opening up the model. Open it up slightly. Just give you this pattern. Just turning over. This is what we have on the other side. So on this side, we can pick any of the edges. Just going to open up the fold. And we're going to cut along this crease line. It is a bit of a cheat for origami, as generally you are not allowed to use scissors. Then we'll do another side. So we'll turn it round. We're going to open up the middle crease, and we're cutting up to the point where that square begins. And same again. And finally our last side. Opening up the fold, going straight down the middle, up to the point where the square begins. And we'll place that back down. We're just going to reinforce these creases on the bottom left square, as well as the top right square. So we'll fold those back over. Nice and tight. Also the top right square. Nice and tight as well. Okay, that should then allow us to press together the top left and bottom right squares. So you'll find those other two squares will then fall underneath. So it might take a bit of fiddling around to get this. It's probably one of the hardest folds in this project. Then you'll be left with your top left and bottom right squares on top, and then the bottom left and top right squares underneath and partially hidden by those two top squares. Next we're going to take this bottom right square, just going to flip it over so it covers our top left square. Then on the right hand side we're going to take this point into the center line, making sure that this edge runs along the center line as well. So place that edge on the center line, bring the point in, and create a crease. We'll flip those squares at the top down just to get them out of the way. Then we're going to bring this edge along here into the center line. And we'll place the squares back up again. We'll be repeating the process on the left, bringing this edge to join the center line. Flipping the two top squares down, and then bringing this edge to our center line as well. Bring our two squares back up, and we can then flip it over. Then we'll turn our model round so those squares are facing towards the bottom. Let's make sure that they line up with each other on those center lines. We're just going to be cutting again, so we're cutting along the center lines. We're just cutting up to where the creases begin. Now on the left, just going to fold in the two layers and create a crease, then do the same on the right hand side. So we're going to leave about 1 finger width between where the fold comes in and the center line. The exact dimensions of this don't matter too much. Next we're going to fold these bottom tips, just making sure that the fold runs the whole way from the bottom to the top. We just want the bottom to flare out at a slight angle. As you can see, these now come out the bottom. Then we're going to match that on the other side. So the right hand side folds very similar to the left. We'll just push down all of our folds so everything is nice and firm. We can flip our model over. We're almost there now. We're going to take the left-hand point and we just tuck it underneath the square in the middle. Press down slightly to just create the start of a crease, but we don't want to fold it over completely. And we'll do the same on the right. We're bringing that point, tucking it under the square, and creating a slight crease. And as our final steps, we'll get out the scissors again. Just doing some work at the bottom here. And finally, the same on the other side. Cutting those out. And that will then leave you with a bow or a ribbon ready to put on a present. Hope that you enjoy.